of course, as soon as I sit down to record something, somebody decides it's a great time to use a leaf blower. Gabbie Hanna is leaving the internet. Supposedly. I know I'm a little late to the party. Peter Mon and Adam McIntyre already covered this, but I was indisposed thanks to my chronic illness. So I hope you'll watch my reaction / whatever this is anyways. If you're new here and missed my last 2 Gabbie Hanna videos, first, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any videos that I put out. Then go watch those videos and come back here. So last we left off with Gabby. She was starting a new podcast with her husband, Robbie. And in their very first episode, Gabby attacked Trisha Paytas and Jessie Smiles again, blaming them both for her cancellation and inability to get volunteering positions with her church. I went over in my reaction video that, of course, this is all her fault for not taking accountability for her actions in the first place. So go watch that video if you want my full thoughts on that stuff. After that podcast, let's just say that a lot of people couldn't get on board with what Gabby was saying and her victim mentality. Of course, some of her fans are still gassing her up, and you'll probably find them again in the comments below, so let's tell them hi again. But in her open Patreon chat, one of Gabby's subscribers brought up Trisha because, well, that's what her video was about. It is literally titled, "Why Trisha Paytas Tried to Ruin My Life." Of course, Gabby had an issue with this person bringing Trisha up and went on a tirade. So in a Reddit post titled, "Gabbie Hanna for Your Reading Displeasure," via her open Patreon chat, Gabbie Hanna Croner says, "Like, you are part of this problem. Why are you here bringing her up? Bringing Trisha up. I haven't said her name in 2 weeks now? None of my content has been about her, but here you are." Literally, her video was about Trisha and how she ruined her life, so I don't know why she said that. People like you, Isabel, are the reason this convo is still going. So Isabel brought Trisha up in this chat and said, "Gabby, I brought her up because you did. Please scroll upwards." And then Gabby says, "You came in here about Trisha, which is all the same to me. Trisha, Jessie, the drama channels, they are one evil mutant who literally for years had group chats about how they were planning to attack me that day in unison, LMAO. I don't know where the proof is for that. Probably in one of Gabby's mini videos about Jessie and stuff that I didn't bother to watch, but I highly doubt that these people had a group chat about trying to ruin her life. It's more likely that because she was a trending topic, quote unquote, on YouTube, that's why a bunch of people were making videos about her. If you're not kind of familiar with the YouTube landscape, it's the evil algorithm that you should really be mad at, because that's the one that, kind of lumps everything together and is like, this is a trending topic. Now this is a trending topic. And so that's why people make videos on it, because the algorithm is more likely to push out those videos. Then somebody called Katie says, "As a person who has trouble letting things go, I can tell you that sometimes talking about it helps you move past it. Sometimes you need to do this repeatedly. I have so much stuff I need to let go of from my childhood, some of which I would have sworn I had already let go, but then it just sneaks back up on you and latches onto you something." That person sounded like they were trying to be helpful, like, "Hey, yeah, we understand you need to talk about this stuff, to kind of let it go." I mean, I would not encourage her to continue to do this in a public forum, but that's just me. Somebody else says, "Clock it, Gabby." And then Gabby says, "But what's ignored is the fact that many years later, despite the fact that we have years of conversations proving that we had moved on from whatever we had between us, she histrionically came out with this video that I needed to be stopped." Okay. Histrionically, it was more like, hey, here's the truth, but whatever you want to call it. Gabby continues, "And with each response, she got more and more emotional and hysterical about it, adding more and more details, lying more and more to explain away the glaring evidence that she was obviously just building a drama channel career." Wow, okay. I mean, first of all, using terms like histrionics and hysterical are kind of misogynistic. Yeah, they're kind of common terms too, but to say that about another woman is a little bit misogynistic there, Gabby. But I don't think she was trying to start a drama channel career. She was trying to let people know what had happened. Gabby continues, and then all caps, "You can't respond because she's pregnant, and that's harassment. You're hurting a pregnant woman." And then it was, "She just had a baby. You can't respond. You're harassing a new mother while she's with her newborn." Now I don't know if she's talking about Trisha or Jesse because they both have had children. So I feel like she's just conflating both of them in her mind. Like these two people are both my enemies and they both act in the same way. So I'm just going to treat them as the same person. But I don't think anybody ever says that you can't defend yourself against a pregnant woman if they're attacking you. But the problem is that neither Jesse nor Trisha were. Okay, Trisha was a little bit attacking her. I feel like she kind of drug it out. In my first video, I said like, she could have made just one video on the subject and left it at that, which I think is what Jesse did. But yeah, Trisha didn't need to go on for as long as she did about all of this. Although I think she's definitely in a better place now, at least than Gabby is. But it's still not, nobody was saying that. Like, I feel like maybe some trolls probably would, but. And then Isabel again responds, Isabel is really the MVP here. So, I thank her for her service. But she says, maybe she meant yes. Yes, but she moved on years ago from that. You can move on too, following the same logic you just commented. And then Gabby continues probably in the same kind of vein without even reading the last comment. And now it's this so far in the past. I don't know what the next one was because it just kind of cut off there in the Reddit thing. But then she continues, because Jessie Smiles is my abuser, period, point blank. Just like she was compelled to speak publicly about her abuse, I am compelled to speak about mine. And mine happened in the public eye at her hands. Hers was leaked by a TMZ article at her hands. Nothing about this is anything I would have wanted to be a public spectacle. Again, I feel like Jessie was not abusing her in any way. That's my personal opinion. I think a lot of people agree with me. I think she was just telling the truth about what was happening. And Gabby was the one that released the 3-hour-long private phone call conversation between them. So, yeah. And then Elric says something here, which is true and I agree with. People really don't understand that you can be a victim of abuse as well as an abuser. I think that's true. I don't think that Gabby was a victim of abuse at the hands of Jessie. I think with Trisha, it's a little more complicated. I think she was definitely kind of bullying her. I think Trisha was definitely bullying Gabby and vice versa. But I do think that's a true statement. Just because you are abused doesn't mean you have to abuse other people. And then Gabby continues, but because my abuser moved her abuse from behind the scenes, BTS, woo, shout out BTS, to front and center in the public eye to build a drama channel, it makes perfect sense that I would want to talk about my story of abuse for the people in my phone contacts and my community that are being served videos about me because of Trisha and Jessie in 2026. Yeah, but those videos are going out to the entirety of the world. When you post something public on YouTube, it goes out to everybody. It doesn't just go to your audience. If you wanted to keep this private, then you could have put it on your Patreon. Probably still would have gotten leaked, but it would have been less. It wouldn't have been as public as posting something publicly to YouTube, if that makes sense. And then Gabby says, Jessie didn't care that I confided in her about my own rape when she did this. That's not related. Like, yes, Gabby had been assaulted at a party by somebody, and again, like I said in my last video, like that shouldn't be diminished. Like, she was a victim in that sense, in that instance, but in this instance she's not. So yeah, just because you were a victim in one instance doesn't mean that you are in everything else that happens in your life. And Gabby says, the way Jessie Smiles put out her video on the day of my music video release, I was advertising heavily. The way she had to put out another video with my name in her thumbnail the day I put out my Bad Karma EP. I don't know if that was on purpose or not, and frankly I don't really care if it was. If it was, that's kind of shitty. But also, if you're doing this kind of bad behavior behind the scenes, you don't really deserve a great music career, in my opinion. There's like more people just gassing Gabby up, which please don't do that. Like, it feels like these people are just doing it for the drama to get Gabby to continue to talk about stuff at this point. So this person says, people on the internet care about mental health only when you're dead. It's sad to say, but it's the truth. As long as you are alive, they will just make a profit out of it. I don't agree with that whatsoever in any way. I personally, and I've seen other people, Adam McIntyre specifically, is very sensitive towards people with mental health issues in his videos because he knows what it feels like to be attacked by somebody on the internet and to have your life like in danger because of that. I feel like people that do these kind of drama videos are really trying to take Gabby's mental health in consideration. We're all basically saying like, hey, you don't need to be on the internet. Like, that's what I said in my video. Like, she was like, in her podcast when she was like, I don't want to talk about this. I was like, good, then don't talk about it. Get off the internet. Don't, if the internet is so triggering for you to be on, then don't be here. Like, there's other things that you can be doing with your life that would benefit you so much better and be so much better for your mental health. Like, you don't have to do this to yourself. I feel like most drama channels are saying that. But anyways, Gabby continues, Jessie Smiles wanted me dead because she has a secret that she doesn't want me to share, and I haven't. And I said in one of my videos that I wouldn't. I don't think that she wants Gabby dead. The should be stopped thing, was one kind of clickbaity title. Two, because you were doing bad things to her, and she was saying that you should stop doing those bad things. When somebody is, confronting you and telling you about bad things that you were doing, that doesn't mean that they want you to die. That's just hyperbolic, and a very stupid response on Gabby's part. And then she continues, same with Trisha. I had info she didn't want me to share, and I said I wouldn't, but she had to destroy me anyway. So now is she trying to make it out like Jessie and Trisha were blackmailing her? Like, we're going to ruin your life, and you better not say anything about these things. I don't get that. Like, I mean, Gabby did tell everybody that Trisha had herpes. So like, what other information is she sitting on, and why is she now like threatening to bring this stuff up when she could have said it before and her life wouldn't have been any worse for it? Like, these things still would have happened, in my opinion. And then she says, these people make no mistake, wanted me dead and gone. I doubt that. That's, again, very hyperbolic and very dramatic. And then Gabby says, Jessie made her motive clear from the start. She wanted me to be stopped. I mean, yeah, she wanted you to stop lying and to stop, trying to make it seem like you were the victim. That's what she wanted. And then Gabby says, stopped from what exactly? What did I need to be stopped from? Telling Jessie that her friends didn't rape her, because that was the whole point, slash crux, I think she meant to say, of the video, right? No, she wanted me to stop being successful. She wanted me to stop being able to function as an artist and creator. No, she literally wanted you to stop harassing her about her sexual assault. That's all that Jessie wanted, and for you to stop lying. Like, that's literally it. This Ricardo person, stupid. And then Gabby says, and just as a reminder to myself, the reason I brought it up at all is because as soon as I started posting maybe and going viral again, all the viral posts about how I'm psychotic and dangerous start going around because of Jessie, Trisha, and the drama channels. No, that all started going around because of what the videos that you were posting, like, and the things that you were saying. And then she says, I have never experienced psychosis, and I have never been diagnosed with manic episode. I've only been diagnosed with trauma response. But she herself said that she was having a manic episode at one point in time, or she herself at least said that she was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, which can cause mania. That's a known symptom of bipolar disorder. So, yeah.
To address just a little bit of last week. So, yes, I was manic. I am bipolar. I've talked about it. You can scroll back. It's no secret. I'm bipolar. But I've never experienced a manic state. I've only ever experienced a hypomanic state. So that was actually a brand new thing for me that I was experiencing in real time with all of you guys. But it didn't start that way. It started with me doing some spoken word poetry, and trying to talk about things that I care about.
And then I'm not, okay, I just want to preface this, or I just want to clarify that I am not trying to armchair diagnose Gabby with anything. I'm just saying what she herself has said, which is that she was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, and a known symptom of that is mania. So the manic episodes is a symptom of that. It's not wild for people to say that she may have been experiencing a manic episode. I don't agree with people saying that she is psychotic or has psychosis or anything. Again, because I don't agree with armchair diagnosing people, but the signs were there that she may have been having a manic episode. And then she said, what is a normal human reaction to being abused and gaslighted publicly for a decade, all while people like Isabel pop in with Jessie moved on after she slandered you and built a successful career on hateful lies. You need to move on too. I feel like Gabby does need to move on. I feel like I'm reading this book right now about empathy, and in there it says that one of the things, again, I'm not a doctor or anything, but in this book that I'm reading by a doctor, it says that, when you cannot let go of the past and you keep talking about traumatic things that happened to you, that means that you are insecure about it, that you are feeling some kind of way about it, that you can't get past, and that you need to work on yourself to do that. And I think that's really what Gabby needs to do, is to work on herself to get past these things that have happened to her. Now, of course, I'm not saying just get over your trauma. That's always going to be with you, but there will come a point in your life where you just, you won't care about it as much anymore. You won't talk about it quite as much. It'll be something that only maybe comes up every once in a while. But yeah, I feel like Gabby just really needs to work on herself, and we'll get to that. Like she said, she is apparently quitting the internet. So we'll get to maybe possibly her taking some time off the internet, I hope. I wanted to read out this comment too, because on the Reddit post, I thought this was very succinct and a good comment that somebody made. They said, I think the degree of separation also matters. If you just do normal posts about upcoming stuff, or keep it to I love your videos so much, talking about, posting on Patreon, it can be normal. Having a dedicated set of sycophants that are always there to tell you you did nothing wrong is a problem. It's why a lot of influencers have extreme disconnect from the real world until it's too late and they're spiraling. I really agree with this commenter here, because I feel like the people that are in this group chat are really just gassing her up to get her to keep talking for their own benefit. I don't think that they're really trying to help her in any way. Let's move into her quitting post. So this again was a post on her Patreon, and it says, to the lovers and the haters. All right, guys. So I've been thinking and praying a lot today, especially after this morning in the group chat, referring to the chat that we just read. I'm obviously still really, really triggered by all this, and I've been allowing it to pull me into a continual state of sin. No, you've been allowing it to pull you into a continual state of trauma by, continuing to talk about it again with these sycophants. But yeah, it's not sin. If you want to call anything a sin, your petty attitude towards Jessie and Trisha would definitely be a sin, and gossiping about them would be a sin. And she continues on, it is not okay to hate. Today, I've just been crying out to God to please remove the hate and unforgiveness from my heart. It is not okay to want to retaliate and hurt people back. It is too easy to instantly revert back to a place of wishing I could change things that are out of my control. I agree with her there. I think that's a very astute assessment of herself and of her own feelings. Prayer is probably not the only thing that you need to do. You probably also need to go to therapy. But let's continue. Everyone telling me, fans and haters alike, that I need to move on are 100% correct. I am trying so hard. I have been trying so hard. Have you really? Because if you had been, then you wouldn't have put out that podcast episode. It is so hard to move on when your abusers, the people who slandered and hated their way into their careers, are so publicly present and their fans have already been weaponized against you. I assume here she's talking about drama channels, which, if it was true slander, then sue them for slander. if you can prove that what they're saying is not true, that's what slander is, then you can go ahead and sue them if you want to. But she hasn't done that. I don't think that anybody has weaponized their fans against her. I think that people have just come to their own conclusions about what she has said and done and just dislike her in that way. Now, I don't think that anybody should be sending direct hate to her. I think it's great that she says that people that are telling her to move on are 100% correct. I think that's really what she needs to do. But yeah, don't actually send hate towards her. So then she continues, "It hurts me to see my abusers thrive. It is envy, even though I do not want what they have." But I think that you do, though. And then she says, "It is rage that their toxic behaviors are actively celebrated, while I was painted as a manipulative, money-hungry, evil, deceitful, toxic, hateful, abusive person for insert anything here from the past decade of endless harassment." This just makes me laugh because it's like, no, you are jealous that they are successful. Like, that's you. We can all tell that. Like, you might be mad also that they're successful, but whose fault is that? For you or yours, for your actions, again, that you committed in the past. It's not everything. It's very specific moments of actions that you committed. And then Gabby continues, "It is hard to keep this wound shut without shutting out everything else. The calling to write and share music and my testimony." We'll get to her testimony, not in this video, but I am going to react to my testimony podcast episodes because I think that I can add some really important insight to the religious aspect of what she has to say. I don't think that's true either. Like, you could just write and share music and your testimony without bad mouthing Jesse and Trisha and drama channels. Like, that's definitely something that you could do. And again, as far as I'm aware, she has not reached out to anybody to apologize for anything since then. So, that's a thing that she still needs to do too. Like, she did her whole blanket apology video. "I'm sorry to anybody I may have hurt," which is not a real apology. You need to reach out to that specific person and apologize to them for your actions. It says this in the Bible. So Gabby says, "It takes a lot of strength and courage every time I attempt to be consistent online again. Without fail, as soon as I find some stability and start posting again, viral videos start swirling around, misdiagnosing me, making openly bigoted remarks about my faith, my ethnic features, and mental health." If people are making bigoted comments about her ethnic features, that's not okay. I think what people are pointing out, though, are the harmful aspects of her religion that she is showing people on the internet. I've said it before. I'll say it a million times. If you don't want people to comment on something, don't put it on the internet. I don't think people should be commenting on her looks, though, and armchair diagnosing her. I don't think that those are appropriate things to be doing. But if you're making bigoted remarks about other people are going to comment on that. Like, yeah, if that's part of your faith to be bigoted towards others, you need to get a new faith. So then she says, "It's truly like I'm subhuman." No. Again, like, maybe there's some like really extreme channels out there that are doing that kind of commentary. I wouldn't know because I don't follow them. So maybe Gabby shouldn't follow them either. She says, "People's ethnic features are off limits, unless it's Gabbie Hanna." No, I think that's always something that's not okay to do. Religion, faith is off limits unless it's Gabbie Hanna. Mental health is off limits unless it's Gabbie Hanna. No, again, I think that's incorrect. It's very hyperbolic. She's making it very personal. And she says, "It is so impossible to ignore." No, it's not. You could log off. There you go. Free advice from me. Log off and then you'll be able to ignore it. She said, "I tried to leave the internet. I tried to just be a regular local person, but that wasn't possible for me either. As soon as people knew I was teaching fitness classes, literally like the first week, it was flooded with people who were there for a spectacle." Well, yeah, I mean, that's because it was posted online. Like, you could have asked your boss to either make it private just for people that were already subscribed to the Instagram page, I think it was, that the original video was posted to, or you could ask them to not post you to the internet at all. Like, that is something that you could have done and taken a moment to say like, hey, this is something I don't want while I'm working here. Like that's a boundary you can set. And then she said, some fans, of course, but a lot of people who I could sense were there just for a laugh, all because the drama channels who told me to go home and get a real job couldn't resist but laugh at the fact that I just wanted to go home and get a real job. Yeah, I mean, I disagree with the people that were like, ooh, this video was posted of her doing a yoga routine for her real life job. I don't think that is okay. Like, I feel like if you wanted to comment on her actually returning to the internet and like actually trying to make an active career on the internet again, then that would have been groovy. But like, I don't feel like people needed to comment on that specific instance. I feel like that was probably not okay. But, let me know if you agree in the comments. And then she said, not many people can understand the feeling of literally not being able to do anything at all online or offline without being harassed to this level. I cannot go anywhere or do anything in my real private life without these people intrusively stalking and harassing me. Yeah, okay, sure. But I do want to say, for one thing, I don't know if she mentions this later, but like for her church volunteering stuff, she literally said in her latest podcast that her pastor thought that she was suffering from religious psychosis, or that she was not okay mentally to be involved in the church in that way. Like she was talking about her beliefs and like how she was having these dreams of God speaking to her and all these things. And then her pastor, her priest or whatever, said, hey, like, that's not something that we agree with. Like, that's not something that our church condones or like says is part of our religion. So like, we're going to have to ask you to maybe not go here anymore or something. I'll put up the video.
I had a pastor tell me to my face that he thought I was clinically insane. And that I couldn't like tell my testimony inside or outside the church again, or else I'd be kicked out. Like, they literally sent me an email being like, we don't believe in divine revelation, and we don't believe that God communicates through dreams, and we think you need to see a clinician. So you're not alone if you think I'm crazy.
That seems to be more the reason why she was kind of like barred from volunteering, more so than her past online actions, which makes a whole lot more sense because, as somebody who used to go to church, I went to Christian Baptist church for like 10 years, even more if you include my childhood, which I don't really, because I wasn't really like a practicing Christian when I was a kid. But I was like a full diehard like Baptist Christian for like 10 years. And to me, like, we had people there that used to be in prison that were like, part of their testimonies were like they were in prison because they really hurt somebody, or they had done drugs and like done bad things. And we had people that were working for the church that was their past, because, part of Christianity is like forgiveness and like, hey, if you prove that you are a changed person, and we can observe that by your actions and the things that you say, then it's all gravy. Like, God forgives you and we forgive you too, kind of thing. So I think the problem with Gabby is that she did not do that. And she hadn't changed. And like her type of religion, which is specific to her, which I'll get into when we review her podcast, is very different than what most people believe. So I feel like that more had to do with that than anything that had happened in our past. Anyways, okay, Gabby continues. My wedding, my marriage that I never intended to make public this soon, was made public by drama channels. My wedding photos were shared without my consent and spread by drama channels. Did you post them on your public account so that people could have access to them? Because if so, then that's kind of your fault. Like, if you wanted to keep them private, then you keep it off the internet. That's what you do. I wanted to live a private life of service with my husband for a minimum of a year before deciding if we wanted to share that I was even married publicly, but I didn't get that opportunity for peace and privacy. Then she says, I'm sorry for ranting again. It just makes me feel so trapped and helpless that I cannot find rest from these people who make so much money off of me. Then keep yourself off the internet. She says, it is shot for shot what happened to Britney Spears at the hands of the tabloids / paparazzi before her mental breakdown. No, it's not, girl. You are not even like half an amount as famous as Britney Spears. Like, that happened to her globally. I highly doubt many people outside of the US even know who Gabbie Hanna is. And I don't think that it's fair at all to Britney Spears to compare yourself to her. Then she said, they tried to take me away too. They held me by force in my home for almost 3 hours while they waited for psych doctors to come evaluate me, who deemed me sane and safe. Because you let a stranger into your home and put it on alive? Like, people saw that and were concerned about you. I feel like the doctors would not have come for you if they didn't feel like there was some kind of danger there to begin with. She says, they would have put me in their van and taken me away right then. But turns out I'm still not the dangerous psycho that all the slanderers tried so hard to make me. Unless you were proving to the psychologists that you were a danger to yourself or to other people, then they could have done that. And then Gabby continues, but one thing I do know after trying to walk away for years is that God did not give me anything, or God did not give me everything. He just gave me, wow. Okay, I can't read this. But one thing I do know after trying to walk away for years is that God did not give me everything. He gave me just for myself. Wow. Okay. So she's just saying that God, gave her the talent to sing and she wants to share that. He didn't give me a recognizable voice, face, and name just to retire quietly and live off my savings while working for $10 a class at the YMCA. Yeah, I was making $10 to $40 a week depending on how many classes I taught that week. I'm retired. I was trying to do something good for my community, and it immediately turned into a public spectacle, an unsafe / uncomfortable working environment, because they made it public. Like, if you didn't want that to happen, then you should have told them that. And then she says, I'm not allowed to waste my talents. I'm not allowed to keep my testimony to myself. And I have a right to be here, the internet, without being treated as a creature in a zoo. You have the right to be on the internet, but you do not have a right to privacy if you do so. That is kind of the thing. Like, if you put stuff out on the internet, people are going to comment on it and they're going to make videos about it. Like, that's what this is for. It's a public forum. That's what we do here. I'm not saying people should be mean and bullying her, but that's kind of, if you post a picture of yourself that is public, then people are going to be allowed to comment on it unless you turn comments off. And then she says she's not allowed to waste her talents or keep her testimony to herself. You literally are, though. Like, you don't have to share that with everybody. The Bible has like a commandment. It's not one of the 10 commandments, but it's a commandment later on, something like, go forth and spread the good word being that Jesus defeated death, and that, you can go to heaven and stuff like that. So that's kind of a thing that, like, you're supposed to do as a Christian. But again, you don't have to do it on a public forum. You don't have to do it on the internet. And then she says, I'm trying to figure out how to exist on the internet without allowing this to continue to harm me and without allowing it to lead me to harm others, because I do not want revenge. Then why did you make that video about Trisha and Jesse? I've so many times forgiven and tried to forget about these people. They will not let me. Again, it is not your job to forgive them. It is your job to apologize to them for what you did to them. They don't have to forgive you for that, but it is your job to apologize to them, not to forgive them. And then she continues, and still there is no reason for me to randomly be trying to expose people for their salacious acts that are readily available to the public in my Patreon group chat. There is no reason for me to be trying to defend myself to people who are intentionally slandering me for money. So, okay, wait, for their salacious acts. So she's saying that she has a group chat dedicated to the things that Jesse and Trisha did? Or is she saying like the people that are in her Patreon group chats are committing salacious acts? But anyways, she says, and then there is no reason to be allowing myself to operate in a spirit of hatred, bringing that influence here to you guys. And then underlined, italics, bold, trying to bring them down is not going to make me feel better. It will not fix anything. It only brings forth more hatred. Yeah, that's true. So don't do it. And then she says in all caps, God tells us to love those who hate us and bless those who hurt us. And here I was hating my enemies and preying on their downfall. Jesus told us the only command is to love. And here I was spewing hatred. Yeah. So she listened. Great. Do more of that, please. And then she continues, what I know to be true and what I feel on most days. The slander was the vehicle God used to reach me and bring me home. It was the greatest blessing of my life to be removed from that world and be put into this one. Speaking like the secular world and be brought into like the Christian world. I mean, yeah, if you believe in a higher power, you can believe that that higher power like used a certain event in your life that was maybe really traumatic to kind of bring you closer to them. But again, you also need therapy on top of that. And then she says, so I have to do this again today. I've done this many times, but I want to do it in front of all of you. I'm thankful for my circumstances. It gives me deep guttural shivers, to imagine my life had it not changed course so suddenly and drastically. It makes me sick thinking about a world where I don't have my soulmate. I am angry with myself for even allowing myself to be upset about this when my real world is so colorful and exciting. Like, guys, we did it. We built out the studio and gym space downstairs and it rocks. Robbie is actually learning production and we're actually making music and actually traveling and having a great time. Great. Then do that. Like, you don't have to be attacking people with your religion on the internet. You don't have to be rehashing your past and telling lies about people that have hurt you or, embellishing things that happened to you in your past. You could just do these things that you're talking about. And you could maybe even share that too. Like, you don't have to do what you're doing, hun. All of the people God used to reach me and is still using to reach me, they are also God's handiwork. He made them and he loves them. And so I love them too, even when it hurts, even when I have to force myself to say it, I love them. No, you don't have to do all that. You could just ignore them. Like, honestly, I mean, yeah, anyways, they're sinners, but so am I. I can't judge them for where they are in their walk. All I can do is praise God that he pulled me from the darkness. He chose me and blessed me. And I believe in Jesus' mighty holy name and that he will choose to bless and bless them too. Okay. I mean, great. That's fine. You can do that. Blah, blah, blah. Prayer. Yeah. And then she says, if you could join me in this prayer, it's not for me. It's for me, but I pray it over yourselves too. Okay. And then she gives like all the names for Jesus that are, some of those are actually specific Jewish names that unless you're Jewish, you shouldn't be using. But yeah, anyways, continues on. This is so long for no reason. And then she says, anyway, Jesus said, and if your eye causes you to sin, tear it out and throw it away. It is better for you to enter life with only one eye than with two eyes to be thrown into the hell of fire. So that's specifically about lust. I'll put like the whole quote up here, but yeah, that's specifically about lust. And then she says, obviously engaging on social media causes me to sin, and it's impossible for me to have social media on my phone, apparently, without engaging. So this is where she's getting into the quitting part. But yeah, I mean, if you want to take it as that, sure, go ahead. Jesus never spoke specifically about social media, because it didn't exist 2,000 years ago. But anyways, she says, so that means I need to throw it away because my eternal soul matters. Yep. But even just now in this moment, being on social media again has brought a lot of negativity and hatred into my life. And then she quotes Proverbs. When I step online, there is hate. And if I don't guard my heart from that hate, it flows back out of me. And I am not by nature a hateful or angry person. Okay, whatever you say, girl. Basically, she's just saying like what we've all been saying, which is like, if it's so triggering to be online, then don't look at the online. And then she says, so the plan moving forward, the dream I've had for many years, lol, is to just make content and have someone else post. So this is where we get into the quitting aspect. So you can see from this that she's not actually quitting. She's still going to be making content. She'll just have somebody else post it. Might be Robbie, might be a friend I trust, but it won't be me. And that makes me a little sad because in all the years I had to shut my eyes to the hate, I had to turn my backs on the love and the fans. I used to have such a good connection with my audience and I miss that a lot. I love being in a group chat with you guys. I'm going to miss the group chat. I'm going to miss you. I love coming in and talking to you, and you guys inspire me so much in my ministry. You encourage me so much in my faith. You have been an answered prayer for me many times. Like, again, if you really like this is the path that you want to go down, then you could make friends in real life that actually know you and can support you in real life. You don't need people that don't know you, basically just gassing you up for whatever you do. Many times I've prayed to God to tell me if I was on the right track, and I came in to see one of you telling me how my openness with my faith brought you closer to God. That is what I hold on to here. It is my only reason for putting myself back out here. I need to share what Jesus has done and is doing for me. That's cool, whatever. Then, make your channel about that, but don't go around attacking people with your religion, because that's not okay. I really hope this can be an inspiring example to you if you feel like you also need to step back from social media. I say that as someone who is still going to be posting on social media who would benefit from your views and comments, lol. So she's still going to be posting. Again, she's not really quitting. Remember, guys, I took a whole year off social media. Oh, wow, a whole year. And even though I was going through a lot, the feeling of not being on social media is a peaceful airness that I can't even put into words. Good. So continue to do that. If it makes you feel good, do that. And then she says, anyway, I love you all, every single person reading this, and I am sorry once again for acting in a way that was unchristlike. To you and to God, I'm sorry. I'm trying really hard all the time to be more and more like him, but unfortunately I fall short a lot. And then, yeah, that's the end of that. So, I just, I can't express to you, I wish she would actually just not post things, but if she wants to post her religion and stuff, that's great. But again, you cannot do that while attacking other people. So some comments here from Megan F. She says, it is not okay to want to retaliate and hurt people back. Oh, she's quoting it. And she says, copied and pasted from the Gabby herself in this message. If this is what the fuck you're doing, genuinely what the fuck hypocrisy. You're bringing God in as an excuse for your behavior. You're embarrassing him and all that genuinely live by him and his words. You can try all you want to preach to us from the religious side, but we see right through this act. You are not okay. Yeah, I agree. Stop forcing religion on people because you think you found God. It's insulting. If you found God, he would allow you to heal and live your life peacefully without coming back and bringing up these things from years ago. Yeah, and, also going to therapy would help with that too. I agree with Megan here. And then Luke says, the problem is that you bring God as an excuse for everything. Yeah, you bring God into everything. You are trying to act as a priest and not an influencer. Candace Owens doesn't even bring up God as much as you do. That's a good point. It gets quite frustrating for people who have different beliefs than you. Calling all of us sinners for not believing what you believe in is crazy and simple-minded. Yeah, I feel like there's a Bible passage that says something like, by your fruits you shall know them, or by their fruits you shall know them. So basically by what they do, what they produce, like a tree produces fruit, what a Christian produces, then you'll know that they're a Christian. You don't, they don't have to tell you, people can see by your actions, and the love that you actually show to others will show through if you're a Christian. And then Luke says, God loves everyone, not just the people who believe in him. True. Good point. Also, you need to take accountability for your actions. Simple and easy. Yup. And yeah, that's the end of that. I didn't have any more comments that I screenshotted. But yeah, I think fully that she is using her religion as an excuse to continue to bash people and continue to be cruel towards people. And that's not what God wants you to do if you're a believer. And yeah, she has a point, she did stop posting. And then once that one post came out from her job, then people were continuing to comment on her. But again, you don't have to defend yourself against everything. If you truly are growing and you truly are learning from things, then you don't need to do that. You can just ignore it. And set that boundary, hey, I'm not going to put myself out on the internet. I'm not going to make these things public so people can't comment on them. And that's really what she needs to do. But she has it in her head that she needs to share her religion and her testimony, which we will get into in my next video. But really, she doesn't. She she really just doesn't. If this is the kind of Christianity that she believes in, that she's sharing with people, then I don't want a part of it for sure. And I'm sure other people don't either. It's again, it could be something that is kept private. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are about her whole tirade in the comments below. And keep it civil. Don't bully. But, you know, if you have specific things that you want to talk about, please let me know in those comments. Like, share, subscribe, do all those things. Turn on the bell so that you don't miss when I upload another video if that's something that you want. And as always, don't forget to drink some water, take your medicine, and eat something today if you haven't done those 3 things yet. And I will see you all in my next video. Bye.